Okay, so this is the last section of this digital image processing tutorial. And one of the things that is often done is actually to try to manipulate the values of some of those pixels in a picture. For example, we may want to create a transparent PNG image. So basically, I'm gonna take it's an image I created before that I call happy PNG. So I have this image here on my folder, and I open it. So I use the open function of the module image of the PIL library, and I open what? I open this file. And by doing that, I can assign actually this image to an object that I call EMG. And this object that I call EMG looks like that, okay? So now we can work on this object, okay? I cannot directly work with this picture. I need to transform it, okay? In order to be able to use it with Python. So maybe one of the first things that we can do is to do what we have done before. Like, remember, when you have a picture, you can always ask, okay, so what is the value of the pixels? Okay, the RGB values of the pixels. And what you see here, actually, if I use from the NumPy library, if I use the function array, and I apply it on the initial image, EMG. So I can assign this to a variable that I call data, and then ask, show me what is data. If I do that, that's what I'm getting. So remember, okay, this will give me a series of values for some of those pixels. But you know, as there are so many pixels in the pictures, you only get some part of some of those pixels. So basically, the message that you get is that all those pixels which are on the top or below have the same values, 0, 0, 0. So it's black. And 255, it means that it's opaque. And basically, you may play around with these values, okay? In order to change, for example, what we are going to do is to change this to 255, 255, 255, and set that to 0. So, what we are trying to do is to have white pixels where it is black, and to make sure that those white pixels are actually translucent, okay? Transparency equal to 100% if we were in Excel or in Microsoft Word. So in order to do that, well, it's a bit more involved, but first of all, we need to flatten those data, and I don't want to talk for the time being about what that means exactly, but in order to apply the function that is here, I need to somewhere transform the format of this array that you see in front of you. So this line does that, okay? You don't need to know that for the time being, okay? And this is a small code line which basically tell us the following, okay? For each item in data, so those are items, okay? For the first, the second, the third items, it tells us that if the first item is equal to 0 and the second item is equal to 0 and the third item is equal to 0, then replace that with 255 and 255. I will talk about this later on. It's a creation of a list, but I haven't talked for the time being about what is a list in Python, so we will need to discuss that later. But for the time being, if you run that, okay, basically the message is that all those zeros will become 255, and where you have 255, it will become 0. So let's run this. And now, basically, I'm gonna, I have created, if you want, a new pictures called new data. And I can actually put the data. Okay, let me run this thing, this line. So I have, if you want, this a function which insert those new data into my original pictures. And basically, and I call it EMG1, and I save it as EMG1. I save it with that name, okay? And you can see now, you can open it as we did before. And if you open it, I did a mistake somewhere, I think. Let me run this again. Okay, so now finally I have what I wanted. I did a small mistake before. Anyway, you see, okay, some of those line of codes are a bit more difficult for the time being. You can just run it and try to understand the basic idea. We try to substitute those numbers with 255 and this one with 0. That's what this line tells us, okay? If you see 0, 0, and 0, so if you see 0, 0, and 0, replace that by 255, 255, 255, and put a 0 here. That's basically what it tells us. You can see that this image has this size, and then you can also I'm replacing that because I think I had a mistake I changed something at some point in time. Anyway, if I use again that function array on this image that has been created, I'm gonna get, the values that have been inserted in the original image in order to produce this new image. So you clearly see that the zeros that you see here have been replaced by 255, and 255 has been replaced with a 0. That's what you see here. Okay, so and that's about it. And maybe, there is a library which is called remove background. And in a sense, okay, what you do here is basically to remove the background. And we can use that library to, if you are afraid to make some coding, you can use that library to get an immediate result. But you will see, so I have to install that library. It's not in Google Colab, so pip install the library. Takes a bit of time, and then I'm gonna say, I open again the image. Okay, so that's the original image. This one here, I open it, and basically I'm creating an object with this expression that I call EMG. Now I print I ask Python, show me this object, and that indeed this is indeed this the same as that picture. And I can again ask, show me the values of those pixels. Same result as before, okay, all those indications. So because there are thousands and thousands of pixels, you cannot get, the values of all those pixels, okay? You just see the first few values and the first last values. So you see this and this probably. And it tells you that actually you have a black background all around your image. And this is opaque. This is opaque. And basically what you could do, if you don't want to manipulate yourself these values, you could import this library that I just installed, and you import a module called remove, okay, because we want to remove the background, the black background. So we still need to use the image module from the PIL. So I have put it again here. Well, I mean, this is not necessarily, but I have simply said, well, the input part is this value here, this pictures. The output part is this that I have put in between brackets. And then look, the important thing is this, okay? We open input part, that is, we open this picture here. And we put it into an object that I call input, okay? And this basically remove, so that's the library, that's the module remove. And the module remove is a series of code lines that actually do something a bit similar to what we did before, like removing the black background of the pictures. So we apply a function called remove to the input, which is basically the saved values of this picture here. And then we simply we rename this new object output, and we save that output under this name. Okay, I could have put here the name happy.png. Okay, but let me run this thing. It takes a bit of time. So still running. I know I did it before. I know that it takes 1 minute or so. So you can see the time that it took. Okay, so now it has created that pictures, and basically you can, so probably here I have the picture that has been created under happy.png. So that's this picture. So now I can, I can double click here to see what is the picture, but I can do as we have done often during this tutorial. I use the open function. I pass onto that function the name of the pictures as argument. And basically this will become an object that I name image remove background. Okay, so let me do that, and see, it gives me this this thing here. So you can see that actually this picture here is not exactly the same as this as the picture that we did before this one here. So there is some dark cells here, so it looks a bit different. So clearly the remove background library does something else, and we may wonder, well, what does it do? So basically I'm using the function array on this new image. And I simply try to see, to understand the data behind this, okay? So as we have done before. And you see, I have 0, 0, 0, 0. So what does that mean? Actually, it means that this library, which is supposed to remove the background, transform black cells, well, what was the... oh, no, it's not what it does. Actually, it keeps the black cells where they are, but it makes them transparent by changing the alpha values that you see here. Instead of having 255, remember there are 4 values. R for red, green, blue, and then the alpha channel. 255 means the image will be opaque, and 0 means that the image will be transparent, translucent. So that is what this library does, and you can confirm that by doing this, by writing this code line. And of course, you could say, well, this image is not the same as the one that we did before when we removed the background before manually. So we could also try to do it again. Like I'm using the same code line that I have introduced before. I know that it's a bit difficult, so I'm not gonna go into the detail. But now look, I say, well, if you see 0, 0, and 0, then replace that by 255, 255, 255. And for the alpha channel, put it a 0. So I hope to get 255, 255, 255, and here I hope to get 0. So if I do that, and if I reopen, so I save it under output 2, it should be this one here. If I reopen this thing and I assign that to a new object called emg2, you see that actually this picture is the same as the very first one that we have produced. So, and we can confirm with the data that now we have actually 3 times 255. And then the transparency, the alpha channel is indeed set equal to 0. And that's it. I'm not sure why I have this size, but it tells us that it's the same size as the original picture, which shouldn't be surprising. And so that's about it. So this is the image processing, digital image processing tutorial that I wanted to do with you. And we are going to use some of those notions for a few projects related, so more concrete projects related to digital processing, digital image processing that we are going to do in the next few days, like, when we create a word cloud, or when we want to introduce some secret message in a picture. Okay, we need to understand a bit what we are doing in the background. So that was the reason why I have done this rather long tutorial on digital image processing. You will understand much more what we do in those more concrete examples if you have some understanding of what has been taught in this tutorial.